Well, thanks everybody for coming to our weekly lecture of the International Hempology 101 Society and the UBSS Hempology 101 Club. Today is one of those special days that we seem to have quite a bit, where the school actually is in the middle of spring break, so the number of students around is somewhat lacking. And in our schedule, I think in 2 weeks' time, we have a break coming up. So next week on our schedule we have the break. So the week after that we're scheduled for a class on cannabis and the law. So I'm going to do 2 classes on cannabis and the law. Next week I'll talk generally about the law, more here in Canada than around the world. My experience lies here. Though the next week, I think, certainly if I have the decision in writing, it'll be helpful, but even without it, I'm going to spend a lecture discussing the recent decision of the Vancouver Island Compassion Society and the acquittal that was granted to Matt Barron. I've just thought of this. I think I'm even going to invite Matt to come to listen to what I have to say and make comments on it if he feels like it. But certainly I don't want to say or do anything that would be disrespectful towards him or the case, but I think it would be good for myself and possibly others to comment and learn more about it, and I'll try to explore the case and what it means in 2 weeks' time. Again, I really hope to have it in writing by then as well. Anyway, today's class is also special in that Gail's teaching about the medicinal cannabis products of the Cannabis Buyers Club in particular, and she has lots of stuff to talk about, so I'm going to just get her on up here and have at it. So thanks, Gail.
Coming today. This is an exciting day for me because I love sharing knowledge, and more importantly I love teaching people how to look after themselves and make their own medicine, because I believe that's truly the only way that we're going to make a difference with our healthcare system, and there's nothing more empowering than taking control of your own health and well-being. It becomes contagious, and the people around you, it inspires people around you to do the same thing. So here I am, hopefully to inspire you today. I'm a herbalist, and my favorite herb of choice is cannabis, and I was lucky enough to come meet the Cannabis Buyers Club of Canada about 6 years ago, and in that time, through lots of hard work, I've become head of research and development, and I helped develop the new products that we come up with, and the response to the feedback that we get from my fellow members and what they need to help them in their specific ailments, because we do help people with a very, very, very broad range of ailments in our club. There's the first thing that you can find in any good hemp store, and I've even seen the odd one in the odd vitamin shop now, are marijuana cookbooks and hemp seed cookbooks, because the hemp plant and hemp seeds share a lot of the health benefits that the cannabis sativa plant shares. So the one thing that I'd like to talk about first, though, when it comes to cookbooks, is something that Dr. Paul Hornby has taught me, and I've learned through watching his lectures here, and you can see them on, is it YouTube, I believe. And so the first thing that I haven't seen in any cookbooks yet is, and you can read about it in our digest, and I can't remember offhand which digest it's in, but it's one of the relatively newer issues, like I think 18, is how to decarboxylize your raw herb before you do your infusion or your cooking. And I'm not going to repeat Dr. Hornby's class, but what I'm going to say is the plant material has active ingredients and inactive ingredients, and in order to convert the inactive to active, the simplest way to do this, and to do it in your own home, in your oven or in a toaster oven, is to heat your leaf or your bud material to 300 degrees Fahrenheit for approximately 25 to 30 minutes. We joke when we do this at work about having the only walk-in vaporizer, but because what you're doing is decarboxylizing, and it converts everything inactive to active, and it increases the strength of your medicine. And we don't want to be wasteful, so we want to get the most use of it. So that's the first thing that you do, and then before you cook into butter or oil or whatever you're going to do. This is a picture of cannabis tincture, and I believe it's from about the 1930s, probably the
1920s,
the 1920s, probably before Prohibition. It was a very, very widely distributed and used medicine for a lot of different ailments, a lot of women's ailments. They have yet to make a corn plaster that equals or surpasses the ones that we used to make out of cannabis. Okay, so here we have pictures of getting ready to bake. So you take here, the first thing you should do is slightly break up your leaf or your bud material, and that just allows more exposure to your oil. And you can do this again with any of the things that you have at home after you've toasted it slightly. You take a saucepan, put with a few inches of water in the bottom of it, and any type of bowl, preferably ceramic or metal that fits tightly on the top to trap the steam, and place the type of oil that you're using and your bud or your leaf material into that oil, and put a leaf on it, and so you're basically making a double boiler, and cook that for, we usually cook it for between 2 and 4 hours, and that's extracting all of the active chemicals out of your plant material into the oil. Then you strain it and try to use some kind of press or strong arms and try to get out of as much of the oil as possible, and then just put the leftover plant material to the side, because we'll make something out of that later. And today I'm going to show you how to make a canna patch. Okay, so once you've infused your oil or your leaf into butter, you can make literally.
Lecithin?
Okay, right. Another thing, after you strain it, or as you strain it, I like to add lecithin into the bottom of a clean pot, and so you're pouring the strained hot oil onto the lecithin. It helps it melt, and you can mix it. It mixes better. You add lecithin because it's a fat emulsifier, so it helps you absorb the fats that your active ingredients have been infused into. It's also specific for your nervous system. So this is one of the reasons why it's so important for people with things like epilepsy and multiple sclerosis to ingest cannabis daily on a regular basis. The lecithin is what our nerves are